oh, education good, running good. Then they said I'm very short. 7 years later, I was that first female to come to Africa. I've trained KDF, all men, myself, in Manda Bay, in Mtongwe. But I chose shooting as my new professional career right now. Because I'll tell you, when I'm doing training for even 2 hours, maybe a day, you have to focus on calmness. It's exhausting to actually just breathe. Can you imagine you're breathing for 2 hours, you're training, and it's... Believe in yourself, even if no one else believes in you. Like, never ever doubt yourself. There's a time I asked them up the mountain. We were up the mountain. When I tell you there's one guy that quit in our team, and I told them, is this working for women, really? No. Yeah. And then they're like, Mercy, you are not even the weakest in the team.
3 words: aim, heal, inspire. What does this word mean to you, those 3 words?
Aim, heal, inspire. Mm-hmm. That really describes my life currently. My journey, aiming, of course, now I'm currently into shooting team for Kenya. Mm-hmm. Healing is a journey. As we all know, healing continues every day in our lives in different aspects. Having been in the military, I would say it took a lot of 1 to 2 years of, healing journey in the aspect of mentality. Physically, I'm still healing, from the injuries I experienced while in the military, training, working. And for me, healing is a journey that continues every day in our lives. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Inspire?
Inspire is a great word. For me, it's something that I dream of every day when I wake up. How can I inspire myself? How can I inspire other people around me? And to be honest, if you ask me, if I die today, I always say, I've inspired generations. My legacy is to leave this world having left inspiration to people. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you have love for children as well.
Yeah, I'm a children's ambassador. And the reason I advocate for children or younger people is because if I want a better future for myself, is to inspire the generation behind me. If we can empower the children, that means when I'm older, I will have better life for inspiring the children, taking care of them, protecting them, and supporting them, yeah.
Yeah.
I really have big love for children.
Yeah. Healing is a huge part of athlete wellness across board. Maybe if you can take us through your combative side, how did you used to recover physically from injuries, from heats, from all that, translating it to now what an athlete goes through? Is it a contact sports like rugby, basketball, or is it non-contact sports like running, but still they have contact on with the ground that has impact on their joints and everything?
Yes, yeah. I mean, any military person will tell you, my back hurts, my legs hurt, my knee hurt. So it's a very combative, it's a combative
activity.
Yeah. Like, I mean, if you're in a combat world, you are carrying heavy guns, your outfit is heavy by itself, whatever you carry on you, and also the environments that you work in. I was fortunate enough to work with the Naval Special Warfare, and as a female in a team of just men, I was the first female to actually come to AFRICOM special mission, and I was fortunate enough to come to Kenya. Wow. I was the first female in 8 years where it was only a team of men coming here, and being a female in that team was very challenging. and you have to perform just like the men. So it involves, the environment is not very conducive, but you train for that. You train and prepare for that. Yes.
And preparation training is one key aspect of doing life. Yeah. And also in an athlete's life, preparation training, and sometimes we don't take that seriously as athletes.
Yes.
What can you breathe into that in regards to preparation?
Yeah, if you look into the shooting that I'm doing now, even my team will tell you right now, Mercy doesn't miss training. They know Mercy will show up because having been in the military, the way you train to deal with the combat world is the same tactics and techniques that you will employ in real life situation. So I take my training seriously because in that chaotic world, I'll perform the same way in training. So preparation is key.
Growing up, did you do any sports? As a young person growing up, were you having siblings in sports? And maybe you can just take us through that phase.
Yeah, I come from a very active family. I am the firstborn of my family. And yeah, we have those genes. Because if you look at my family, everyone is in the sports world. So I'd say besides the talent that we, and the genetic into the sports world, we also work hard to achieve those goals in the sports world. So I started running in primary, more in high school. I remember actually running healed my asthma. I used to have asthma, and I don't know, I just loved running, and I ignored that part, but it became my healing process. That's crazy, actually.
You just reminded me of a teammate also who had asthma when we played basketball in high school. And whenever we started doing the morning runs and everything, his asthma went away.
Yeah.
And transitioning after high school, he wasn't that active. And it kind of came back. So I'm saying that just because most people don't like running.
Yeah.
Personally, I am an athlete or was an athlete, and running has been that one thing that I push myself to even currently, But if you look at the statistics, you realize that only a small percentage of the world population runs, but running has so much effect to your body physiologically and all that, and health-wise and all that. If you can just tell us something little about what running does, what does endurance workout do, and break it down to something you love, the power trainings.
So, I would definitely inspire other people to get into the running world. Just like Eliud Kipchoge says, if you run, it also saves your life, If you have health issues, working out, training, it helps your heart, your heart and your body. When you train, you allow your blood circulation to perform better. Your heart, your lungs, they open up more. So it's like a healing process for anyone that is probably struggling with health challenges. I'll give an example of my sister, Asha. When she started running, she also had chest problems. She would not be in a cold environment. But even my mom was concerned about her. And my mom was like, Asha should not run because, she has chest problems. I'm like, I used to have that in high school, and I continued running, and it disappeared. She actually trained. She went to the US. She went on a scholarship. She ran all her 4 years in college. She's now an electrical engineer. So it helps with your healing journey as well. So I would encourage people to get into an active lifestyle.
An active lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned growing up in a very humble background with about 7 siblings, right? Your first 6 years of life usually determines how your life will go. What were some of the things that you picked in that environment that shaped your resilience, has shaped your current leadership today, both as an athlete and also having served in the military?
Yes, as we all know, your environment is one of the contributions to who you are. You know, the friends you surround yourself, the kind of family you come from, what do they instill in you? Do they instill, you know, higher self-esteem? Do they empower you? Do they believe in you? I would encourage families to support maybe their kids, their children, especially in the sports world. You know, every family, a lot of families, they want you to be a lawyer, a doctor, and wherever. And most people are talented that, you know, they get shut down. But it's important to nurture your children and the talents that they have. I'm really thankful to my parents. If you meet all my family members, everyone is bold. Everyone has self-esteem. Yeah. Everyone works hard. Everyone believes in themselves. You know, that's not very common in an African setting. So my parents really, really believed in us. They powered us through supporting our dreams. So that environment is what created, I'd say, the beast in our family.
Yeah, the grit.
The grit.
There you go. There you go. It plays a huge role, you know. If you look at someone wanting to be a medic, or someone wanting to be a lawyer, someone wanting to be, you know, our parents are usually like exposing you in that area, or what can we do for you? What books can we buy you? Yeah. You know, but sometimes sports is not viewed as a career. Yeah. You know, and you sometimes, you know, like I look at my own journey, myself playing, my parents never came to my game or anything, you know. Yeah. They're like, you know, it's just something you're doing on the side.
So that's typical of the society.
Yeah. Yeah. But what impact does it have when you have, first we need to establish sports as a fully fledged career currently.
It is a career.
Yeah. Just as a doctor or a medicine practitioner, yes, or whoever. Having established that, then the support system around an athlete, and the ripple effect that brings. You've been exposed to, you know, family support. You've been exposed to countries where, you know, parents come, take leave days to come and watch their kids play, and stuff. What does it mean to an athlete growing up?
Honestly, the support is massive. It's very important because when you get that support, I mean, they might not be physically there. I'd give that as an example, being away in the US. But if you're talking to your family and they encourage you, they believe in you, they're praying for you, they're encouraging you to chase your dreams, that is very, very important. I think we should not shut down. When you find someone that is passionate about something in particular, that is healthy, that is safe, that is, I mean, I'm sure right now they see that athletes make money, etc. I tell you, the impact we've had, like with my family, everyone now is like, oh, I can run and go to the US. You know, everyone performed really well in their KCSE, so it's not just about running. You get an athletic and an academic scholarship. Like, you know, I have a degree in psychology. I am in Masters of Public Health. You know, I've done dental hygiene. I've worked that as well in the military. So running is just a bonus. And I'd encourage any young person, if you have a talent actually, even if you're educated, use that talent as a stepping stone to make your dreams a reality. Yeah. I mean, we've all used running to get scholarship. You know, they pay like 25 million Kenya shillings a year. So we didn't have to pay for college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got all these opportunities. Yeah. So maybe if you can take us through how did you get to the US, your journey from, okay, you started running at this point, this is how I was scouted, or this is how I got there, this is how I got a scholarship, this was the process. Yeah.
Actually, it's very interesting because when I finished Form 4, you know how they employ students who've performed well to become the small teachers in high school? Yeah. So after high school, I got invited to Finch Secondary School to become an English and a geography teacher. That's just after high school. So I went to live close to my cousin, which was, how many kilometers is that to the school? I think it was like 8 kilometers, thereabout. And because I'm this active little girl, I would give out my outfits for like a student to carry it to school, and I would run. I would run in the morning to school, change in a teacher's house, teach in the evening, I would run back home. Because my uncle told me, you know, you could get a scholarship to go to the US. And I'm like, okay. And that's how my training started. And then from there, I decided to join the former head coach for Team Kenya, Mr. Koech. And I started training. It took me less than a year actually to go to the US, because I was, like you see, I had already started training as a teacher, and like within 6 months of training, I was out of Kenya. And that's
So
how.
you got to the US. How did you get a scholarship? How did you?
So actually I got like 2 scholarships at the same time, Iowa State University and Norfolk State University. And Coach Giles from Norfolk State processed my I-20 like within 2 days. Wow. He was like, nobody else is gonna take you. I want this girl. Yeah. And that's how I went to Norfolk State University in Virginia. So
there's values that he saw in you, probably. Maybe if you can breathe into athletes also understanding how am I supposed to be scoutable?
Actually, I was in Kericho with my dad. How I met Coach Koech, he saw me he was like, this girl every day just running by herself. I mean, there's so many runners in Kericho, so I wasn't afraid to get out and just run. So I was just disciplined by myself. I mean, you wouldn't be afraid to go run when everybody else is on the road running. And one day he called me, he's like, why are you running? And I said, I want to get a scholarship to go to the US. He was training professionals. And I actually was the only girl. At that time, I didn't know there was camps. I mean, I didn't know there was camps that you could go to. Like my friend Bridget is in charge of, you know, certain camps. Yeah. So I actually trained with the pros. That's what I'm saying. Within 6 months, I was out. Yeah. Because even if I was last in that team, these are people that are running really fast. Yeah. So that's how I went.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you got there, you're done with college. How did you transition out to join the military?
Actually, I didn't finish the 4 years. There's a program that opened up for non-citizens to join the military. That's a program that doesn't open up easily. Yeah. And that was an easy way for me to get my US citizenship and education benefits. So the fact that I could get my US citizenship, and number 2, I'd still continue with my education, because education is very important for me. I was like, why not? If they're gonna pay for my education and even my master's program, why not? So I joined the program, and I continued with my school. I joined the US Navy. I continued with my school. I still continued with my master's. And I never dreamt of being in the military. Actually, if you would ask me so many years ago, yeah. You know how everyone think, oh, if I get a gun, I'm gonna do this. Yeah. That is always imaginary. It's not what you think in real life. Yeah. So I just joined to get my citizenship and education benefit. But oh boy, the benefits that still came with all that, yeah. Massive. I am enjoying them to date till I die. So I'm really thankful for the US military.
Amazing. Served for how long?
8 years. And do you know the funny thing? I once went to a KDF recruitment in Kenya, but at that time I was accompanying my cousin after Form 4. I could run, I had a B+, and I'm like, they're gonna select me. You know, I have all the check boxes. And you go through the lines of being selected. Oh, education good, running good. Then they said I'm very short. That's why they got me out of the line. I wasn't happy about that, you know. So I feel like that's very ironical, because 7 years later, I was that first female to come to Africa. I've trained KDF, all men, myself, in Manda Bay, in Mtongwe. I've worked with them. I've made great partnership. I was a liaison for the US and Kenya, and I was also the combat medic for the team. And at that time, we came for a special mission with the Navy SEALs and the SWICs, the Special Weapons Boats Tactic Team. Yeah, so I think they should not limit people because of their height. I think performance is key, and also good track record.
Definitely, definitely, and it's part of the story, you know. Through your story now, it can make them change minds on how they recruit and everything and all that, you know. Yeah. So you've been fast, or the first to do a couple of things. And how has it been breaking that glass ceiling? You know, it's not easy. In words, it might seem, but if you can just paint that picture for us to inspire anyone who's watching on the process of breaking a glass ceiling.
Even up to date, when I just have conversations with anyone, I really like to encourage and motivate people in what they're doing. Literally, anybody, it doesn't matter what you're doing. I like to support, I like to motivate. I think when you have a vision and a dream, people may not see that right now. But I'm that person who, I like to see that big picture. Like, I believe in that vision and the dream. I never knew, like, you break the glass ceiling, but it's the hard work, the discipline, the consistent efforts. And please do what you're passionate about, because that's what's going to wake you up every day. When you're passionate about something, even if it's very challenging, it will seem effortless. I was born to save people's lives. I like to make an impact. I like to give back. Right now, when I'm in Kenya, if I see an accident on the road, I can't just pass by. I'll stop. See, do I need to take that person to the hospital, or how can I help save their lives? Obviously, under safe conditions. Yeah. I was in the military, so I have to consider that. If I've done a couple stops, and it's because I'm passionate about that. So it's effortless for me. I find it mind-blowing that people just walk around an accident, or they stand there and just watch when they can try to help. You know, call an ambulance, call the police, help save people's lives out of, you know, an accident. Just do something, because that could be you tomorrow. Like, yeah, none of us is an exception.
And definitely, just as you said, it's an area of passion. Yeah. Because you see, the first response, sometimes people are on their phone recording. Other people like, what can I fetch from the crime scene? And still, sadly, you know, it's crazy when you see all these videos on social media of accidents and how human beings are responding in different ways.
And also, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to jump in. Obviously, respectfully. Like, there was a guy that was hit here, Langata Road, by Rubis, by a car. I was seeing off a friend, and I approached the ambulance. Actually, people are just standing there, and I just said, hey guys, you have to introduce yourself again, like I said, respectfully. I'm like, hey, I've worked in trauma, can I help? Because, we're in a different space as well. Definitely. You have to approach that carefully.
Yeah. And quick response to game injury situations in sports. How do you think we respond to that here? Someone is injured down there on the field. Yeah. What's your thought on that?
I mean, those are real life examples. Yeah. We've been in the field. I'm over there, and you have to shout for them to respond quickly. If you're working in a medical aspect, your goal is to make sure you're paying attention to detail what's going on. People don't need to be yelling in the whole stadium like somebody is hurt in that corner. They need to pay attention to that, because we've experienced that, on track. We need to take that a little bit more serious, more training, for those kind of situations. We need to do better.
We need to do better.
Yeah.
All right. Definitely, you've worked in trauma and emergency care these are high risk zones. A lot happening. You talked about attention to detail. A lot is happening at the same time, be it in a combat situation, be it in a sporty situation. There's a lot of distraction and all that. There's how being around that environment influences your focus, your ability to work with the team, and mental strength qualities, and all that. How can that be translated directly to now what you do in sports and what you do day to day?
Shooting, yeah. If you look at my history and the kind of environments that I've worked, I am one person who works well under pressure. That's why I was a combat medic. I was also a female selected in the language and regional expert team in Coronado. It takes true grit. You also have to master working in a chaotic environment. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. When you're working in a high pressure environment, you want to make sure you're methodological with your tasks. You block out the chaos and you follow the steps and the protocols of your work. You can't let the chaos confuse you, because this is a real life example. As a combat medic working where people are shooting guns, obviously you've been trained for that. Your safety comes first. As for me, the safety of my patient comes next. Obviously, my team members also play a role in ensuring the security is still on and we're still fighting. So before I go save a patient, I have to make sure that it's safe for me too. Because if I go down, I'm the only person in the team that is supposed to save everybody. Everybody is depending on me. Yeah, so you have to ensure you stay calm, you stay focused, because when you stay calm and focused, you're able to follow the steps of saving that person's life. I have to check my sex. Am I safe? Then you jump in, get that patient out of the X, which is where they've been shot and everything. You're trained to carry that person out of there, as you're also maintaining your security. And then when you're in a safe space, that's when you attend to them. And obviously your team still covers you at that moment. So you can't let the chaos confuse you, because you won't be able to perform your task.
Yeah.
And that's team effort, And everyone depends on you. Doc.
Yeah.
So they protect the doc, you protect yourself, you protect your patient, and that's team effort. Yeah.
Definitely. And that translates, even to sports, the sporting world. A lot is happening in a field, a lot is happening in a track, a lot is happening in, all these various sporting situations where, our medics need to, stay that focused. And I think we need a policy or something that, every team needs a medic. It might incline towards affordability and budget wise of teams, but you'll realize even teams in the league, national leagues, are playing without a medic, are playing without a first aid person, and it's not really a good thing,
That's where training comes in, creating more awareness. You might not want anything to do with medical, but what if something happens to you? Can you at least even help save yourself? So even if you have a doctor in the team, it's important to do a general basic training on medical first aid, BLS, where before you get help, you want to try to help yourself. And that's one of the trainings we were doing here in Kenya when I was with the US military, tactical combat life-saving skills. If you're shot, before I come in as the doc of the team, you want to be able to help yourself. Can you get yourself out of that dangerous environment so that you get the extra help? So you also need to enlighten yourself, learn these skills, take those extra steps to train yourself, take the lessons that are available for you. But obviously it also has to come from a team leader as well. Yeah.
And
sprinkle it down.
One thing I like about military people or ex-military is, their humility and their thought process. in doing things, because now you're transitioning, or you've transitioned a few months ago into Kenyan Shooting Team.
Yes.
And you know, a normal person would be like, you guys get off. I know this thing. This is my common, you know, I've been shooting for 8 years, you people. You know, I got this. Stand back. I don't need to train. Yeah. But you're still training, you're still learning, you're still relearning, you're still understanding, okay, this is different. Maybe if you can just tell us, because athletes and our viewers will be able to understand the importance of, oh, I'm good at this, now I'm transitioning to a different team, or this. Yeah. I need to learn or relearn a few things for me to perform at that level. How was that transition into competitive shooting like for you, from, you know, your time in service, active service, and what did it represent for you?
Yeah, I'll start off by saying learning is a continuous process in life. And like you said, humility is very important. I think at the team right now, there's people that don't even know I was in the military. And that's because where I've come from and the kind of training I've had, they drilled basics to us. You must go back to basics every time. You know, you cannot be perfect every day. You learn even from anyone that is not best in shooting, you know. So as much as the transition is slightly different, coming from big guns and heavy guns and all that, I'm shooting air weapons right now. That is what is going into the Olympics. That is what is allowed into the Olympics. Live fire was taken out of Olympics. So we're doing air weapons, you know, air rifle, air pistol. And I'm doing the small bore weapon, which is the 22 rifle. It's slightly different, and my humility comes in there because the first time I hold that gun is super light for me, you know, so you have to adjust into that. The basics are literally similar, and that's what makes it a little bit easy for me. At least I've held guns before. I know how to hold a gun, precision, pointing. I'm a sharpshooter in the US. Yeah, you need to be humble and learn every day. And my coaches would make that comment like, the good thing with you is you listen. Because, I mean, if you want to perform, you must listen to your coach, because you work as a team to achieve your dreams. You know, if you're serious about your dreams and your goals, you must listen and learn every day.
And that's a huge attribute, you know, in life, you know, to always approach things with a point of, I don't know, I don't know it all.
I love learning too,
Yeah.
as a person. I love learning.
Yeah, so shooting is a sport that demands, you know, a lot of calmness, control, focus. These are skills that you've practiced, you know, in the medical side, in combat medicine, in all this. How do those, you know, two worlds or different worlds intersect for you now to perform as a Kenyan professional shooter?
I actually find them similar, just like I mentioned earlier, Ohen. Personally, not everyone works under high pressure, but I love high pressure. I love tough situation. I've mastered, or I've worked on that focus and that calm in those moments. And the reason I actually chose to now competitively do shooting for Kenya is it also helps with my mental health. As much as it was easier for me to choose this as a new career with my military background, I'd say I think I chose it more to help with my mental health, my mental health. Physical journey comes with that because, you know, I still train every day. But I chose shooting as my new professional career right now. Because I'll tell you, when I'm doing training for even 2 hours, maybe a day, you have to focus on calmness. You breathe. You know, that's meditation for me.
Yeah.
I pray when I'm shooting. I'm reciting memory verses. I'm going to a happy space, something that keeps my heart calm. And you see, that's like doing meditation or yoga, not intense yoga, but the one that brings calm to you. It's good for your body, it's good for your heart. I've battled with anxiety, depression, PTSD, which we'll talk about that there. So it helps with that. I'd say I'm becoming a happier person, a more calm person when I'm doing these trainings. It's exhausting to actually just breathe. Can you imagine you're breathing for 2 hours, you're training, and it's
Fire.
and you're doing that every round you're doing, every pellet you're shooting. It's amazing. Yeah.
I can imagine.
But it's chaotic that you're shooting too, so yeah.
A balance of the two, right? Your leadership is, out there, and you've led and coordinated, different athletes, different corporates, and institution. One of is Paris 2024 Olympics.
Yes.
If maybe you can tell us a little bit about that and how did it feel representing Kenya at that level, not just as an athlete, but also as a leader, as a bridge builder.
Yeah, bridge builder. That is through ComCorp organization.
Yeah.
That's an organization that I'm part of. I'm one of the executive directors for Call to Serve program and also sports in supporting Team Kenya. The executive board directors are all ex-military from different countries and regions, representing the US, France, Belgium. Alexandra Ndolo, if you know her, she was part of our team, and she's one of the, our inside athlete that we were supporting into not LA Olympics, but Paris 2024 Olympics. So I didn't go there physically. I chose not to go there physically. I worked behind the scenes in Kenya. Sometimes I really like working behind the scenes. As long as you're getting work done, I think it's important. That's because our president, Weldon Korir, was in Paris, and the other veterans from Belgium were close by. So we coordinated, making sure that if the athletes have any questions while they're in Paris, Korir speaks French. So that would help also to interpret some conversations, making them feel at home.
Yeah.
A lot of athletes would tell you when they're out in the US, I welcome them forward. I help with interpretation. As we all know, sometimes doing interviews can be challenging. I also worked with World Champs Oregon, and I remember one of the athletes for steeplechase was stopped by a BBC interviewer and couldn't speak, English.
Yeah.
So I offered that. I offered to do an interpretation for him, and that helps also with networking with these athletes. So they know, all these athletes in Kenya know. Niule Masi that screams in the field and cheering for them, whether they are in France or in the US, as I love traveling to different countries to watch athletics. As an athlete too, I have come from track and field background. I understand the challenges that is in Kenya, and the fact that I've been fortunate enough to come from where I have resources, why not support them? Sometimes they let me know they're even if I'm not in the city where they've gone to compete, I can make orders. I can order food for them. I can tell them what restaurant to go eat in that has
something.
Mostly like the Mexican food is similar to the Kenyan food, because they're like, the food here, what is this? I don't even understand what this food is. So it might look like small things, but it impacts they ask, is there ugali? Can you cook ugali for us? They come in my city, I cook for them. They come eat in my house, or, I take food for them.
If there are, Kenyan ex-military guys who are interested in sports and such, how can they be part of such groups?
Kenyan ex-military?
Yes.
Those who are based in Kenya?
Yep. They would like to serve in, volunteer for such things.
Yes. Yeah, I would say contact ComCorp. because that's one of our main goal is to obviously support. We are Kenyans, even if we were abroad for some time. Some of them are still abroad. So our goal is to integrate back into the communities in Kenya. We feel the need to give back to Kenya because we are veterans who are lucky. If you've served in France, in the US, like I said, the benefits we get is not what the veteran in Kenya would get.
Yeah.
So we are offering that support and integration. We are communicating more. An example is right now in the shooting team, we have the able team, which is us, and then there's the para team, the disabled group. Right now, I just go spend some hours when they're shooting. I just support. I help with, some you have to help them even load the pellets for them to shoot. You offer the company. I have heard a lot of them are police or some are KDF who've lost their legs and things like that. And we now talk about those challenges that they face. You see, for me, coming from the US, I got the therapy sessions. I chose to take that as well. That is not very common for them here. And they communicate those challenges they faced. Maybe they got into alcoholism, they got more sick. It's the lack of support and resources countrywide. And that's one thing we're trying to actually offer as Comcorp, those free services to support them, guide them. And having conversations, we relate.
Yeah.
Now we talk about the challenges we face.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the kind of support we're offering.
Humanitarian support, charity is huge for you, You've had very many programs that you've run, Face of Kenya, USA. You've worked with Bethel's Children's Home. Why do you do all that, and how do those experiences connect with your passion for sports development and services?
Yeah. Charity for me is a purpose. It's God-given purpose. I feel compelled. It's part of my life. But I actively started doing charity projects in Form 3 because where I went to high school, the orphanage was just right there, which is in my hometown of Londiani. That's where I actively started giving back to the orphans at Bethel, and it grew from there. When I went to the US, my first trip back to Kenya, I didn't go to my home. I went to the orphanage. I told my family, you wanna come see me? Come to the orphanage. I came with a friend in college, and we volunteered there for a couple of weeks, gave back to the kids, and we still do that. We've done that over time. Like 2 Corinthians 9:7 says, God loves a cheerful giver. But you can't just be a giver if you're not giving it from your heart. You have to do it effortlessly. You don't have to be forced by anybody. You don't have to give reluctantly. You have to really do it from your heart. For me, it's a purpose, so it's effortless. I would sacrifice not to even eat maybe a lunch or a dinner and at least give food to somebody who's not eaten for days and stuff. So to me, that's just a no-brainer, giving back to the communities. I definitely give back to athletes, and that's how I've connected with many, many athletes in Kenya. Even right now, the last project we did was with Tingwa Athletics Club. So many kids there, very young kids who are training over the holidays. This November 23rd, actually, they have a fundraising to buy mattress, those basic things. So actually, anyone that is hearing this interview, if you want to support these kids, I challenge actually even the professional athletes. And that's one of the challenges I face. I like to reach out for these less fortunate people. I'm outspoken. I'm not afraid to ask for help. So, even if you give running socks, 1 or 2, a t-shirt, don't forget where you came from. When you had nothing, where somebody came through for you. So it's very important to go back to the communities, empower the young kids that see you being a world champion and support you. They cheer on you. So the least you can also do is go back to these little camps. Even if you have 5 t-shirts to give for training, it makes an impact.
It makes a huge impact. Yeah. Huge, the little things usually fill up huge spaces. You know, when it comes to like you're looking, this is someone I've been looking up to. Then they're in my space. Oh my God, they're here. You know, just that interaction means a lot to that young person. That there are basic things sometimes in life that we take for granted that we are having. Running shoes, maybe you're having 5 pairs or so, but someone is somewhere running on barefoot, you know. And I like what you're doing in terms of even reaching out, and that process of reaching out is also creating awareness, creating education, or you're educating, you know, athletes on to remember the roots.
You see, when I've done charity projects for a long time. For a long time, I did it alone, always giving from my pocket. Again, that was easy for me because that's what I was born to do. But then it got to a point where I'm like, oh, you actually have to source out help a little bit. At first, I would be upset. I would reach out to some friends who are drinking every weekend. I would be like, why can't you just give me that $50 instead of drinking? But then I made peace with that. I realized, wait, everybody's not like you, Marcy, you know? So I became nicer on that. And then there's very few people that really believe in my journey and support that. And that's all we need in life, you know? So don't forget where you came from as an athlete or whoever you are. Go back and give back. Go back and talk to those kids that dream of being like you. It's not all about the money. It's not about the money, you know?
Yes.
Being an advocate, speaking up for them, motivating them, talking to them. It's that belief that someone needs to hear from you that can actually impact all their life. When I talk to them, I just tell them, I was just like you. I had days when I didn't eat. But those days was when I was sharing with this group of girls in Kapsabet. I shared everything I had until I didn't have anything, and I got into their shoe. And that was a wake-up call for me. I'm like, crazy. So when I went to the US, those girls were just ringing in my mind, and that was the first time I came back. Yeah.
You told them, family wait.
They've run for Nike now.
Wow.
You know, and that's my happiness that actually I reached out to Toby Tensa. I don't know if Toby Tensa even remembers me, but I messaged him on Facebook and I told him, there's a group of girls I left in Kenya. I don't have a contact to the manager of Nike, but these girls are running really well right now. I trained with them and they are lacking resources. Toby Tensa reached out to the Nike and they flew to Kenya, and that was a change of their life. Yeah.
Wow. So don't fear to reach out.
The least you can do, I was taught that the least you can get is a no. So I'm one person that will knock on the door. If you say no, I tried.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You tried.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking ahead, Marcy, as a sportswoman, a veteran, a global ambassador, you know, for peace, for charity, for community, and for Kenyan excellence, what's ahead for Marcy?
I always dream bigger. I believe that the future is brighter. The future is brighter, like never give up, keep working hard, keep being disciplined, keep being consistent. I really drill in people that it pays off. It may not pay off right now, but believe in yourself, even if no one else believes in you. Like never ever doubt yourself. You know, you are the first. You're your first cheerleader. And if you're lucky enough to have one or more, you know, take it with you.
Yeah.
My biggest dream as a sportswoman, like I said, I have history in track and field. I ran Norfolk State. My family followed suit. Currently, my biggest dream as a sportswoman, now that I'm on this new career path for shooting, I want to represent Kenya. I've already made that decision to be a part of the shooting team for Kenya. I want to represent them in the global stage. You know, there's no female who's gone to the Olympics, world champs yet.
From Kenya?
Yes. So that's my dream. I want to go where Kenya hasn't been. You gotta put Kenya on the map. But that is not an easy journey. Actually, when I got into the shooting team, I didn't know there was the rifle shooting that I'm doing is very expensive. And to get your rifle, your outfit costs over $1 million bob.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a very expensive sport, but like I say, whatever you're passionate about, you're going to do everything you can to get there. I'm still new, but I'm picking up really fast. I'm very driven. I'm hungry for this. This is a personal journey for me. And as much as it's personal, it's also purposeful because I want to represent Kenya. I want to make myself proud with that personal choice. It's my new career post-military, and I'm very determined to do that. With God's help, I definitely want to make it to the LA Olympics. And the more reason is because, you know, I've been in the US, I've worked in LA as an intelligence undercover. So I want to go back there. And I also want to show them that Kenya can do it too.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. We are wishing you all the best with all that.
Thank you.
From Wima Sports. And definitely, you know, just go ahead and hit those glass ceilings.
Yes.
You know, I'm sure you'll make it to LA.
Amen.
Speaking in faith.
I do.
And,
I manifest.
There you go.
Every day in my life, I manifest.
That's why you are referring to Paris as LA, because your mind is already in LA.
Do you know the crazy thing?
Yes.
Like you mentioned earlier on, I worked for NATO, Role 3 medical unit in Afghanistan. That's the best trauma and emergency room in the world. The cleanest, the most efficient, and one that saves so many lives of soldiers in, you know, traumatic conditions. I used to watch that on the real documentaries. I'm like, that's what I want to do, you know? I want to be the one speaking those soldiers who are blown up, but I never thought it was going to come true. And to work in the same facility was such an honor for me. I like to make a joke where, you know, then when we're out here in the normal hospitals, you know, we like to say, oh, I'm going to work, I'm going to save lives. It's not chaotic until you meet someone's head blown off, their hands are blown off, their legs are blown off.
It's different.
And that is real life-saving.
Yeah.
Like every second matters. The first hour, we always say the first hour. The first hour is where you save this person's life. I can't believe that I've experienced some things and I've done some things.
Wow.
And I encourage anyone, dream bigger.
Powerful.
There's people that can do more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's humbling and really powerful.
Yeah,
You
my
know,
experience in Afghanistan humbled me. Yeah.
Seeing these people transition from this phase to this, where they exit and they have
And
a
there's
smile.
challenges that come with that.
Yeah.
You know, when we were in Kenya, Somali tour, we were able to save some kids who were blown off by IED. This was targeted by the bad guys. I don't like to mention their names.
No.
They were targeting the police vehicle. And unfortunately, the police vehicle gave a lift to kids from school. And they became, you know, they were injured too, even though they were not the targets. So obviously we need to continue fighting the bad guys. And
Definitely.
yeah,
Definitely. Fight continues.
yeah.
Never stops. On to the quick fire segment. Ready?
Ooh, yeah.
First thing you do before shooting competition.
First thing I do before shooting competition, I make sure I have a restful night. Even if I don't have a full night, the few hours of sleep and rest need to be restful enough. I also make sure I have a calm mind and a calm heart. I put everything aside and my goal is on my next shoot the next day. I organize myself and I pray. And before, it's so crazy. I wish there was a way we would read people's mind when we're shooting. Because I don't know what else other people are thinking when they're shooting.
Yeah.
But I could pray through a whole shooting session, or I memorize some verses. Obviously, that's to give yourself confidence to calm your heart. Yeah. I go to a happy place. Any distraction that comes to your mind, you have to block it because you want to keep your heart rate low and calm.
How powerful is the human mind?
Oh, great question. Great question. How powerful is a human mind? You see, I don't even do justice to say what I've gone through in the military.
Yeah.
And I can't even talk about myself like that. Maybe one day, if my workmate is in Kenya, former workmate, then they can tell you the kind of person I am. I trained with the Navy SEALs. They trained me to be able to join the team as a female, remember. And for them to trust you even as a female, it takes a lot of training, a lot of confidence in you that you can be a part of their team, a lot of trust. Actually, trust is very important, and teamwork. I know if we're on the same team, I'm not afraid of my life. I know you got my back and you trust me with your life.
Yeah.
So that's trust and teamwork is very, very important. Yeah.
Towards helping us control our thoughts, process, and everything in our mind.
I think that's one of my strengths. It's important to have a powerful mind, and that comes down to belief, self-esteem. Like I just said, be your number one cheerleader. Nobody else comes before you. Then, obviously, surround yourself with people that believe in you and support your dreams. But we are so powerful, and that's a proof of what I went through in the military. There's a time I asked them up the mountain. We were up the mountain. When I tell you there's one guy that quit in our team, and I told them, is this work for women, really? You know?
Yeah.
And then they're like, Mercy, you're not even the weakest in the team. And they saw that potential in me. They challenged me mentally and physically. I know I like to just say that as a joke sometimes, but after everything I've gone through, I only fear God. I'm not afraid of death. I'm not afraid of human beings. I can face anything. I challenged my trainer one day. I'm like, if we put our hand here on the table and someone brings a panga, na tuambiwe hivi, are you going to stay there? Mm-hmm. Or you're going to pull your hand out? Yeah. I would stay there.
You'll stay there. Bring it on.
So, yeah. We're so powerful beyond our capabilities.
Beyond our capabilities.
Yes.
And that's something that as human beings we need to harness. And as athletes, we need to harness on realizing how powerful our mind is.
Yes.
And channel it. 3 words that define you today. Quick fire.
3 words that I'd say define me. I'm hardworking and ambitious. Okay, that's 2 words, but I'm hardworking. When it comes to work, my work ethic is top notch. I go the extra mile. That's my life journey. I am very optimistic. I see life in a very positive aspect, no matter what. And that's what we need to pick, that no matter what you're going through, be hopeful, be optimistic that something good is going to come out of that. I am also clearly bold. Mm-hmm. I'm not afraid to take the risks. I'm not afraid to ask. And that goes a long way. When you're bold, you can ask, you can seek, you can take risks. So let's be bold.
Let's be bold.
Yeah.
If you weren't in the shooting range, where would you find you on a free weekend?
On a free weekend, first, I'll definitely have done my training session somewhere, no matter where I am. Even if I'm in Dubai, I'm one person that checks into a hotel and see where is the gym at or where is the pool at. So I'll definitely get in my training session, and then from there, I love road trips or flying or traveling, to events that I support. It could be a sports event, athletic event, car shows. These road trips takes me to those events. And you see, for me, that's also supporting. I feel like I'll buy a ticket and go support those people that are doing car shows, which I enjoy to watch. And alongside that, I'll be doing some content creation, showing people where I'm at, look at or if I meet athletes along that, I do a quick interview with them. I'm like, look, I'm with Julius, here, go here, or something. Say something to the people.
Yeah.
So I do content creation along that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
On to the last segment. This is a segment usually get questions from our viewers.
Okay.
And it's usually the fun segment.
Okay.
So, who wins a precision contest? A Navy SEAL or a Kenyan sharpshooter?
Sorry, Kenya, but no brainer. Navy SEALs are the best in the world when it comes to precision, marksmanship, shooting, and the most decorated Navy sailor, Navy SEAL Chris Kiley, rest in peace. He's had over 160 kills from Iraq War. If you watch his story, he was actually shot like 27 times with an AK-47 by the bad guys. That shows true grit, to even go through that. I can't imagine how that was, but Navy SEALs are beasts. Like I say, I worked with them. I worked in Coronado. That's where they train. I've watched them train. I've seen them train. Yeah, they're the baddest.
Wow. If you could assemble your dream Kenyan Olympic team from any sport, I'm putting you on the spot right here. Who are your top 3 picks?
If I would assemble my Olympic team in any sport in Kenya,
Yeah, Kenyan.
3 people.
Yes.
Number 1, obviously, I'm very knowledgeable with the sports world and the athletic world in Kenya. I would choose Joseph Okal in triathlon. If you don't know what triathlon is, Google, look it up. That's a sport that involves swimming, running, and biking.
Yeah.
That's not just an easy sport. And I'd choose him because of his true grit. I've seen him train, I've seen him compete. Like, it goes back to the power of the mind. You really gotta believe in yourself and have that grit when you're competing. So I'd choose him because of that variety of skills.
Yeah.
Number 2, I would choose Catherine Dereber. Anyone that doesn't know Catherine Dereber, she's historical. She's one of the greatest women in marathon. If you've met her, if you haven't met her and you're yet to meet her, she's very awesome. I'd say she has great spirit in and out of the marathon or the athletics world. I love her spirit. She's also still active to date in the sports world. She supports events and organizations in running. I admire her. And she's made history in marathon. Catherine Dereber, yes.
Catherine Derever, Joseph.
The 3rd one, I'd choose, that's very tough to make that selection.
It's a tough one.
I choose Ferdinand Omanyala. Ferdinand Omanyala has great sportsmanship. I relate to that. I admire that. And I'd say a lot of athletes in Kenya should take note of that. It's very, very important to have sportsmanship. Sportsmanship means you welcome new people in the team. You support the people you left behind. You go back and give back to where you are. And another major thing is Ferdinand Omanyala has made a generational inspiration to sprinters in Kenya. He's made so many sprinters believe like, if Omanyala has done it, I can do it. Before, if you'd go to the sprinting lines, I did 100 meters. Then in Kisumu, I remember, there's very few people that do sprints. But right now, hundreds, when I mean hundreds, they have to do groups and groups and groups of sprinters. So he's inspired sprinting generation in Kenya and in Africa. Definitely so.
Hats off.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mercy, you're a huge inspiration,
Thank you.
for the works you've done, for the impact you've had so far. We were talking, you have over 400 people that you've impacted directly.
More, yes.
More than, know, and the spirit, the inspiration, and the aspiration as well of where, you want to go to the next.
Yes.
We are honored to have you. We appreciate your time, and we hugely, rally behind you to support and cheer you to your next, pursuits and endeavors.
Yes,
Wishing you all the best at that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Before we part, one thing you'd like to share to a young 17-year-old Marcy?
A young 17-year-old Marcy. Believe in yourself. Hard work beats talent. Be humble. Dream bigger. Dreams are possible. Nothing is impossible. And nothing is impossible with God. Honestly, I think my parting shot would be, if I look at my life, I wouldn't do anything without God. I'm a believer. And that has been my guiding light as well. Consistency is key. And importantly, proper preparation prevents poor performance. Preparation is key. And preparation meets opportunity. I always like to say, I didn't know I would get this opportunity, but it's my hard work and consistency and passion and drive. When this opportunity came, I was ready. When this opportunity came, they're like, she has the passion and the drive. So, yes.
Many thanks. And
Thank you.
Proper preparation prevents
Poor performance. 5 P's.
5 P's right
Yes.
there.
Also, maybe I can add on the 5 P's, 5 whys. Who, what, where, when, why. When you choose to do something, who are you? Does it align with who you are? Why are you doing it? Why are you choosing to do a sport? Why are you choosing to do a certain career? You know, you also have to challenge yourselves on when, the timelines, and where. Where do you want to go from there? You know, so yeah.
Powerful right there.
Yeah.
And I'd like to part it short with what you just said, you know. We can't do all this without God.
Yes.
You
yes.
know,
Yeah.
God is the enabler, God is the pillar, God is everything. So
Yes.
trust in God, people.
Yes.
Signing out, it's your host here at Wima Sports. Until next time, salute.